There is something living inside you right now that has already killed more dreams, destroyed more potential, and stolen more futures than any external obstacle ever could. It does not announce itself. It does not arrive dramatically. It creeps in quietly, disguised as wisdom, disguised as caution, disguised as being realistic, and it dismantles everything you were capable of becoming before you even begin. Buddha identified it with surgical precision thousands of years ago. He called it the untrained mind. And in the next 5 minutes, I am going to show you exactly how it operates, exactly what it costs you, and exactly the one practice Buddha used to defeat it completely. The untrained mind is a master storyteller, and its favorite stories are the ones that keep you safe. Safe from trying, safe from failing, safe from the vulnerability of wanting something deeply and not getting it. It generates these stories automatically, effortlessly, and with extraordinary convincing detail. You are not ready yet. The timing is not right. Other people have advantages you do not have. You have already tried, and it did not work. What makes you think this time will be different? These are not random thoughts. They are a highly sophisticated protection system, built from every failure you have experienced, every criticism you have absorbed, every moment where reaching for something led to pain. And they feel like truth. They feel like wisdom. They feel like the reasonable voice of experience. They are not. They are fear wearing the costume of logic. Buddha sat with this voice for 49 days without moving. He did not argue with it. He did not try to silence it through force or willpower. He simply watched it. He observed every thought, every fear, every compelling story with the steady, patient attention of someone who understood a fundamental truth that most people never discover. Thoughts are not facts. They are events in the mind. They arise, they pass. They have no more inherent authority over your life than a cloud has over the sky it temporarily crosses. The moment Buddha stopped identifying with the stories and started observing them, something extraordinary happened. The stories lost their power, not because they became less frequent, but because they were seen clearly for what they were, the mind's automatic, conditioned responses to the possibility of change, growth, and expansion. Responses built from the past and projected onto the future. Not truth, not prophecy, not wisdom. Just the mind doing what untrained minds do, trying to keep you exactly where you are because exactly where you are is known. And the known, however limiting, feels safer than the unknown, however extraordinary the unknown might be. The first practical teaching Buddha gave for defeating this inner saboteur is what he called the witness practice. Every morning, before you begin the day, before the momentum of activity pulls you back into automatic functioning, sit quietly for 10 minutes. Not to think, not to plan, not to solve anything. Simply to watch the mind, to notice what it generates, to observe the fears, the doubts, the stories about who you are and what is possible for you, and to practice seeing them as thoughts rather than truths. This practice, done consistently over weeks and months, creates a fundamental shift in your relationship with your own mind. You stop being the thoughts. You become the awareness that observes them. And from that position, the position of the observer rather than the identified, your dreams are no longer subject to the veto of your fears. The second teaching is about momentum. Buddha understood that the untrained mind is most powerful in the space before action begins. The moment before you start the thing, the terrifying, vulnerable, uncertain moment of beginning, is when the resistance is loudest, most compelling, and most convincing. The solution is not to wait until the resistance quiets. It never will. The solution is to act before the mind has time to fully mount its case against you. Take one small action toward your dream today, before you think about it too long, before the story catches up. Write the first sentence. Make the first call. Send the first message. Take one step. Because motion defeats resistance in a way that preparation never can. And every step you take creates momentum that makes the next step slightly easier and the resistance slightly quieter. The third teaching is the one that ties everything together. Buddha said, "The mind is the forerunner of all actions," which means that training your mind is not a luxury. It is not something you do after you have achieved your goals. It is the prerequisite for achieving them. The person who trains their mind, who develops the capacity to observe fear without being controlled by it, to notice the resistance without surrendering to it, to take action in the presence of uncertainty rather than waiting for certainty that will never arrive. That person is genuinely unstoppable, not because they are fearless, but because they have learned to be afraid and move forward anyway, to hear the story and choose not to be written by it, to face the silence before the beginning and step into it anyway. Your dream is not dead. It is waiting. On the other side of the story, your untrained mind has been telling you about why it is impossible. Train the mind, observe the story, take the step, and discover, as every person who has ever done something remarkable has discovered, that the obstacle was never the external world. It was always only entirely the story inside your own head. Change the story, change everything. Save this and share it with someone whose dream has been quietly suffocating under the weight of their own doubts. Subscribe to Tathagata Wisdom, because every single day we bring you the wisdom, the tools, and the perspective that turns the untrained mind from your greatest enemy into your most powerful ally.